afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, November 3, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. I noticed that some people were on here an hour ago because, that stupid thing called daylight savings time went into effect. Hopefully we won't do that on the planet. It'll be one time all over the place, even though, certain areas of the planet are night, whatever, but to balance it out. We often feel like we're being judged, critiqued, analyzed. And the interesting thing about that is that we're doing it. We believe that something else outside of us is doing it. But we do it. It's like if somebody says something derogatory towards you, it's up to you on how you're affected by it. If you allow it to come in, you'll be affected by it. If you don't, you won't. No matter what horrific things that have happened in your past, this universe is not holding on to them. It's not judging you, condemning you, or holding you to someone less than sacred. This universe sees all of you and knows you are both human and divine. It honors and respects you exactly how you are. It is proud of the perfection that is created in you. This universe is totally in love with you. Whether you believe it or not, you are being deeply and eternally loved by life right now. You do not need someone in your bed to feel loved. That's right. The most exquisite healing feeling is already here, hidden deeper inside you. Call off the search for love out there and set your destination for exploring the infinite universal source of love within. Now, one might say, well, they might say their life has been really challenging and upheavaling and disappointing and stressful and so on and so forth. But it's how we respond. Now, if you're not aware of who and what you are, then you're going to, 99.99% of the time, you're going to respond through ego mind. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Now, you're aware and you're learning about yourself and who and what you are. You just may be able to intercept that response. Because you might catch yourself and say, wait a minute, that's ego-mind response. I prefer heart-mind response. And you don't know until you actually commit to it. And so every time you have an ego-mind response, whatever it may be, it's just anything in your life, you can immediately step in and say, I prefer heart-mind response. Totally different. Ego-mind leads us down a trail of insecurity, fear, anger, disappointment, stress, anxiety. But it's a teacher, good one too. So it teaches all this stuff, and then we realize that you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay in ego-mind. You really are the master and commander, even though you've been asleep for a long time. So you could say, I am no longer going to be under the guidance of the ego mind. That it doesn't mean in 2 seconds you're going to be out of the ego mind's realm of control. It just means now you've acknowledged it. Now you know. It's not something that you're locked into forever. It's something that you decide when you're going to let go of it. And see, with the ego mind, it's if you do this and you do it consistently, the ego mind's going to start to relax. It's going to back off. It might sit on the huge couch and relax. And as time progresses, you begin to master the ego mind. And we're not talking about confrontation, conflict, anger, tug-of-war fighting, that type of thing, because we're doing that with ourselves. What it really means is that you, and it's exciting because you've identified the fact that you decide. Now, a lot of us don't believe we decide. We believe it's decided for us. There's this power that decides for us. And this is part of our experience in these bodies, to decide for ourselves. Nobody else. You decide for yourself. You'll say, I no longer embrace the ego mind, but the ego mind doesn't know that because you're in the heart mind. Ego mind gets out of hand, you go, ego mind, you're not in charge here. Now, it is relentless. We all know that. It's not going to go quietly away. It's going to keep pulling on you and pulling on you and pulling on you because it wants you back and it's stable. And so the decision is that you would prefer to be in total peace, happiness, joy, bliss, and manifesting anything you desire. And not being attached, not having expectations, not feeling rushed. Because many of us, it's ego mind is what happens. And it's a combination of things through our lives, this life right now, that accumulate. And everybody's different. It's not the same. Maybe some things are similar, but others totally, totally different. So we feel that if we do nothing, at least in our eyes we're doing nothing, right? Then the guilt comes in, like I said, and the fear and the worry. And it's mostly self-doubt and guilt through the ego mind. Well, I got to do something. I can't just sit here. I've got to constantly be doing something. And that's the ego mind pushing. Now, in the heart mind, it isn't even there. Doesn't exist. How do we discover the gods that we are? Through silence. That's how we do it. Through meditation. That's how we do it. It isn't complicated. It's just being still, relaxed into the body, and focus on the breath rising and falling and the space between heartbeats. That's it. Because why? It negates the ego mind's influence over us. It totally wipes it out. All the things that we regularly experience in this life, everybody worries to a certain extent. Everybody fears to a certain extent. But when you finally decide to go within and stay in the heart-mindedness, that all just drops away. And anything that comes around, anything that comes along after that, you just flow with it. There's no friction or irritation like an ego mind. It's there, okay. It's when we get reactive. We react to things. A lot of the times we aren't really putting any attention on our reaction. Kind of like a knee-jerk reaction. It's like you go to the doctor and he taps on your knee, right? And the knee jerk. And the knee jerks. It's where knee jerk reaction came from. So it's not thinking, it's just happening. And so when we view this and not judging it, then we begin to learn that we've always been master and commander. We've always been master and commander. Now, that doesn't mean that we were aware of that. But some of us get to the point where we start discovering that we are the master and commander. Yeah, okay, we've been asleep a long time. Yeah, we've got some amnesia. And yes, the ego mind guides us and controls us and directs us. That's pretty much it. It's not being upset about it, because it's actually a good thing, because you've discovered it. And then once you discover it, you say, okay, so I'm going to go in this direction. I'm going to focus on heart-mind, and basically, I want to know who and what I am. I want to know what's in this body. Not just bones and meat and blood, but what's behind it. And here's an interesting thing. When the body malfunctions and we leave it, right? Do you know why? Because we haven't discovered who and what we are, and we haven't discovered that we can heal the body instantaneously so that we don't have to leave it. But we don't know that, so we leave it prematurely. And we still don't know it after we've left the body. We don't know we're the light. We don't know who and what we are. Period. So it's like, that's where this body is the only body I'm going to have in this lifetime. Right now, that's true. So you go, well, and instead of us being focused on what? The wellness of the body, we're focused on the appearance. You know what I mean? We're focused on the appearance, not the wellness. Well, that's material physical. That's ego-mind influence. Not really a big deal on ego-mind influence, because we all have it. Have you met anybody yet in this life that you could say, from your observance, right, that they are ego-mind free? And anybody on this planet like that? Even a smidgen left of the ego mind. And the reason that most of us are kind of like in a blind, we don't know. So we leave the body and we incarnate again. And then we do that life. And then we leave that body and we incarnate again. Someone might say, well, criminy, you have 1,000 lifetimes and still not know who and what you are. Exactly. When you realize how spectacular, magna glorious, stupendous it is that we're even talking about this, that we're even addressing it, which is out of sight, means we're halfway there. A full comprehension, full awareness, and being with the gods that we are. And like I've said before, everything's reversed. And we're made to believe that that's the real deal. But everything's reversed. You're supposed to go after things, right, in order to have things. But in truth, the opposite is true. You're heart-minded, you focus, you're in the now, you're 100% across the board, trust, faith, and confidence in yourself and the universe. No doubt whatsoever. So then you manifest. You say what you want, and you'll have it. There's really no debating it. So then one might say, well, I've tried that, and it doesn't work. Well, it's because you're showing some kind of doubt somewhere. Can't have any doubt at all, period. Because if you have doubt, it means what? The ego mind's insecurity. And you have doubt, the universe says, okay, well, we're not going to send it. Because you're manifesting it. And you also manifest the doubt. So the doubt negates the manifestation of what you desire. It does. For all of us. Yet you imagine how frustrating it is when the majority of us don't know that. We don't correlate that. We don't connect it at all. We think it's what? Oh, what do we say? Here's a good one that we all do this. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. That's a good kickoff, right? Throw it to the side. The only reason it wasn't meant to be is because we had doubt, confusion. We didn't have the confidence or the faith and trust. We didn't have it. So it was negated. And we accept that. People accept that. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. The only way it's not meant to be is if you do something to cause it to not meant to be. That's the bottom line. We do it to ourselves without awareness. You can see how things have been, laid out on this planet. And what's interesting is that imagine, right, that you come full circle while you're in this life. You embrace the heart-mindedness. You retire the ego-mindedness. You're in full faith, trust, and confidence in yourself and the universe. You have no mind chatter. It's gone. All those thoughts that are other people's thoughts, over 60,000 a day, being played over and over again. Stress, you don't have any. Anxiety, you don't have any. Fear, you don't have any. Why is that? Because we know these bodies are temporary. We know that we go on forever. That's the difference. That's the difference. Now, you embrace the body and you feel really uneasy about letting go of the body, then you're in ego mind control. Period. Ego, mind, control. Not a bad thing, but when we start to discover it's even better. Because we start to learn, well, I don't really care to be in ego mind control. Ego mind doesn't make things interesting, to say the least. But you said, rather be in heart-mindedness. So you make that commitment and you start going within and discovering who and what you are. You discover everything about yourself. You embrace everything about you. You love everything about you through heart-mindedness. And you practice it. That's when you start smiling within. And you begin to smile within more and more and more. Because you feel lighter and lighter and lighter. And why don't you have any insecurity or anxiety? Because, see, you have discovered that you're the master and commander. You manifest what you desire. Period. You learn this. Okay? It's not something that just happens out of the clear blue. You learn it, and you apply it. So it's kind of like, say you have something wrong with you, with your body, right? Doctors and everything. And you finally come to full circle and say, well, body, let's heal you. The energy, the frequency of the God that you are within that body directed towards any anomalies or situations in that body are immediately eliminated. Immediately. Now, some people have healed themselves, but it's taken a long time. Because of what? Because they aren't connected with the God they are. That's the illusion. They are connected, but they don't know it. But it's true, some people have been able to heal themselves from all kinds of illnesses and anomalies throughout the ages, doing certain things for themselves. The only time we should leave these bodies is when we decide, through the heart-mind, to leave them. People get nervous because they're afraid they're going to run out of time, right? And that's a facade. Time really doesn't exist. It's all up in the head. What does time create? Time creates slavery, right? Time dictates to you on what you should do and how much you have to do this, do that, do this, do that. We atrophy because of time. Imagine what it would be like on this planet if there was no time. Long time ago, that's the case. It get dark, you go to sleep, right? It's get lights, you do things. You know, you wake up in the morning, it's light. Whether it's 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And then you do things. And then you get hungry and you eat. You don't look at something and say, oh, it's time for me to eat. You see what I mean? It's very different when we've incarnated thousands of times and have experienced this over and over again, so we believe it's the way to be. What? Okay, so you didn't have a clock anywhere. You had no idea what time it was. How would you be? What would you do? You know what you would do? You would look at nature. You would know, you'd look at the sky, you look at the sun, the light, and you say, okay, it's getting dark. Okay. So I better do this, this, and this. But there's nothing pushing you. Do you see what I mean? It's on your own discretion and your own direction and your own decision process. That's huge. We don't have that now. See, time was brought in, and look what happens with it. We apply time to everything. You know, it's like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. I'm late for a very important date. Got the watch on, looking at the watch. Okay. We all do that. We got the smartphone watch. We've got clocks everywhere. Now, I happen to like clocks. I only like clocks that play music. I don't look at the time. I like the music. But it's a far cry from how we started with no time. We didn't have any time. Did we have time back in, 900, 600 BC? 1,000 BC? 10,000 BC? What does the BC stand for? Well, it was engineered, but it stands for before Christ. And what does AD stand for? After death. After death of Christ. That's what it stands for. Kind of strange, isn't it? So we choose every second in this material physical life. We are always choosing. We're choosing and deciding and choosing. All the time. Now, it doesn't mean it's a huge thing. Could be just little tiny pinpoint things. But we're always deciding and choosing. You look at a planet with no time, and you literally guide yourself. You are responsible for you. You are the kingdom of God. You are the heaven. You are source creator. Your divine perfection. We could go on and on and on. But those are all facts of the God within you. Now, we can, many people are literally shaking in their boots to take that step into the now and to go within to discover who and what you are. I've talked to dozens of people throughout the years that said they were afraid of what they may find. Isn't that something? A fear, right? Stops them from going within. Afraid to go within. Because why? Ego mind is the master here, and you're going in the unknown, and what if this, and what am I going to do if this, or how am I going to handle this, and see, it's not judgment, it's acceptance. You embrace everything. And it all goes back to one thing. We all came here to enjoy our lives, not to suffer. Think about that. In the quiet time of this meditation, we don't keep incarnating here to suffer. We come here to enjoy these lives. Literally enjoy them. Embrace them. Revere them. Stay focused in heart-mindedness. Does it make any sense to any one of us? We come here and we suffer. We have disappointment. We get angry. We're confrontational at times. We experience hate. All kinds of stuff. Why is that? Well, it's ego mind. We find ourselves protecting ourselves, but in actuality, we're protecting the ego mind. The love we talk about, it's a feeling that you get that's euphoric in the center of your chest. Doesn't stay long, but while it's there, boy, oh boy, you definitely want to savor it. And this universal love is quite unique and unusual because it truly is deep and eternal. It is a deeper spiritual type of love by far than romantic love. As it continues loving you, no matter what you think, say, or do. Only this type of love can heal, remember, only this type of love can heal every cell inside, enlighten our soul, set us free from our worries, fears, and pain. This is what real love is all about. It's not romantic love. No matter what you have done to others or yourself throughout your life, this universe has forgiven you. It forgave you the moment you needed to be forgiven. This universal love is always instantly there, bubbling up peaceful, healing vibes within you. You simply choose to sit back and let them in. Release the idea that love has to come from someone or something on the outside. Imagine it is a perpetual stream of light flowing from the most mysterious divine place on the inside. Now, feeling this great healing love, right, this universal love, it may start out on a mental, physical, emotional, or perhaps a supersensual level for you. Do not be too concerned about how, where, or when it shows up. Just know it is infinitely deep and real. There's always plenty of it. Just when you thought it was gone, it comes rushing in. All you need to do is simply relax into your life for an extended period of time. Then it will come. It often shows itself as some profound spiritual experience in the beginning. And this is your wake-up call, so you know how powerful and real it truly is. Now, without this great, deep, eternal love flowing in our lives, we remain dumb and numb to our highest spiritual path and life purpose. We feel lost, empty, and lonely without it. We cannot imagine that there is a gold mine of greatness buried inside. And all it takes is a little digging into our emotional being, underneath the fears, underneath the doubts and worries. With a small shovel of curiosity, we can find an amazing love at the core. This is the real gold when we're willing to stop playing with the fool's gold in our lives. And the best things in life begin manifesting what is real gold is that which will never change. And that is the God that you are in that body. I join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focused on your breath, rising and falling, and heart beats between. Listen closer to the music. Sometimes you stop truly listening, and all that's left is the unsatisfying hum of thoughts, restless noise. Do you see how your unhappiness is shaped by what you are listening to? When you only hear, you remain separate, caught in the mind's web of noise and chaos. When you really listen, you dissolve, and pure presence awakens. In listening, you are no more, just a silent openness, free of judgment, beyond thought. Who then is listening? What does it take to feel the angelic frequency flowing from your own heart? How can you listen closer to this soft light? Simply start by noticing who or what is listening and be still enough to receive your deepest truth. What message is life asking you to hear? Let go of what you know and what you think you know, and listen to that which is beyond words and beneath sound. Remember, you're making this all up anyway. How does it feel to know that? So once again, I ask you to notice who is listening to your inner voice right now. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We will return here Monday, November 4, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you, nor outside of you. Open your heart and allow the music, the magic, to flow in.